Denim Jean Front Details Part 1. Since there's a lot of details for your jeans, we're going to break it off into parts. So the first thing you want to make sure is that you make a detail layer like you've done with all your other garments, and we're going to zoom in nice and close up to the waist area to start off. And what you're going to do is you're going to unlock your shape layer, and with your direct selection tool you're going to marquee select that front band or the top of the waistband, Control C for copy, lock the layer, go to your detail layer, lock the shape, go to your detail layer, and Control F or paste in front. And with your down arrow key, click down till you have the desired width of your waistband. Then you're going to go ahead and click on the dialog box, the square on the side. You're going to start dragging and then press Alt so you can actually drag out at the same time until you reach the sides. Make sure you don't pass the boundaries. I want to make a stitch line basically that mimics this line right underneath this line and right above this one. Okay, that's standard. So I'm going to go ahead and Control F again, and just one click of my down arrow key, and I'm going to go ahead and make it a dashed line. I'm going to make this stroke width about 0.25, and the 1 point dash and gap is pretty good, so I'm going to keep it like that. And the bottom of this line, I'm just going to press Alt and make a copy. And same thing, I'm just going to put it right above it, and I'm just going to use the eyedropper tool to mimic the 0.25 stroke width and to mimic the dash and the gap. So pretty easy. We have that front waistband. Next that's on your waistband is the belt loop. So we're going to draft a rectangle. Okay, and what you want to do, and let's take out that stroke. What you want to do is it has to be longer than the waistband. So you want to measure, make sure that it's longer. Okay, and it is. Also what you want to do is start go ahead and make it the stroke about 0.75 or 0.5. I'm going to keep it at 1 so you could see it a little bit better. Otherwise it's a little harder to see. And what we're going to do here is we're going to add the typical details for your belt loop. Okay, make it a little wider so you can see. So typically you have one row of stitching here, here, and a zigzag on the top and a zigzag stitch on the bottom. That's what it usually has. So an easy way to fix this, okay, is to go ahead and make a copy, press Alt, make a copy of the rectangle, and do make it smaller. So press Shift and make it a little smaller. And actually the lengthwise it could be fine. It just needs to go in on the sides basically. And what you're going to do is you're going to give this a dashed line. Okay, so you're going to give it a dashed line. You're going to line the corners, and you're going to make the dash smaller. And for some reason it's only doing some of it and not all of it. And the dash and the gap, you want to make it smaller. So we're looking at 0.5 dash and 0.5 gap. And unfortunately it is not applying it correctly, so you really can't see it. It's too bulky. Having issues whenever I have my screencast, so so sorry. It's gonna look a little bulky right now, but basically it's supposed to have 2 rows of stitching. See, it just took it out. Something seriously wrong. So there, got that fixed. So gonna go ahead and make it a little more narrow on the sides and move it on over. Okay, and now I have a row of stitching on either side. Next we're going to have, and this one I'm going to go ahead a little bit thinner. We're going to go ahead and do the zigzag stitching on the top and the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead with the pen tool, and all you have to do is draft one straight line. Okay. And you're going to apply the zigzag effect. All you have to do is go under Effect, Distort and Transform. So top menu, Effect, Distort and Transform, and Zigzag. And click Preview, and don't panic, it's going to look really weird. So the first thing you have to do is make it really small. So about 1. And then increase the ridges per segment. In fact, make it 0.5. And that'll make it a little too thick, and make it 0.25. There we go. Okay, so we have a zigzag, and then I just press Alt, make a copy, bring it down. Another thing that you will want to do is group everything and make a copy, so you have 2 belt loops. But before you do that, I'm going to go ahead and just select everything and drag it over so you can see an issue that we'll have if you don't fix it. And that is, you can see through the belt loop. Okay, you can see through the belt loop, and you don't want that. So what you're going to want to do is go ahead and add white fill to the rectangle so that you don't see through it. And also you're going to go ahead and right click group, select everything, right click group. And then I'm going to drag the entire item and just press Alt to make copies. You can also turn it into a symbol. It's not. Sorry, it's much slower now that I have the screencast. So another thing that you're going to be doing is rotating it, because straight view, that doesn't look right. So you actually have to rotate it so that the top and the bottom are parallel to the top and the bottom of the waistband. So I'm going to select it, and you can freehand it. You don't have to do a particular degree, and you're just going to rotate it. Okay, and I just have to do one, and then I can go ahead and reflect this and bring it onto the other side. So I can go ahead and select that. You can wait until you do all your items on one side and then just reflect everything on over, which is what I'm going to do. Another thing that we have on the denim jean is the inside back should have the same details that you would have on the front. So since there is a stitch, I need to see the stitch here. So I'm going to go ahead and make a straight line, because it is a straight line, and I'm going to go ahead and use the eyedropper tool. And for whatever reason, it's not taking it. So I want to look at the transform and not align to pixel grid. Let's keep that going, and let's see if this will work now. There we go. And normally you have the bottom of the band. This one's dipping not quite as low to see that bottom, or maybe you might just see the little bit of that bottom, maybe around here. I'm going to press straight line, but not enough really to see. It's not dipping low enough, so I'm going to keep it like that. If it dipped lower, you should be able to see this stitch and the bottom of this line, but it's not dipping low enough. Another thing that you're going to have is a center front seam. So you're just going to select the top of the waistband and down to the crotch. You're just going to press shift, so it's a nice straight line. And take out that dashed line, and we do want to keep it at 1 point. And we also want the button with the buttonhole. So the button is very easy. You just use the ellipse tool and create a button. Press shift, so it's a nice perfect circle. And again, I do want the You do want this to be less than 1 point. I want to zoom in more. And we want the buttonhole, because it's not just the button goes through the buttonhole. Now, certain places will show you, if you look out there, whoops, they'll have the tutorial and they'll show you like the button is just the buttonhole is just kind of a line closed like this. The only problem with that is that's great for flat pants and woven bottoms, but this is a denim twill, so that's not actually as accurate as it should be. So you want the buttonhole shape with a zigzag effect. That's typically how we do the denim jeans. So I'm going to go ahead and create my shape. I'm going to use the button as kind of my template. And I'm going to go ahead and do this. Don't worry, the button's going to be in the front of it. So click my last point. Whoops. And I'm going to go ahead and enclose the shape. And one is I want, stick that out, I want the stroke 0.25. I'm going to bring it in as well. I'm going to click off it and then bring it in just a little bit. I want it behind the button actually, because what it is it's the button that goes through the buttonhole. And I'm going to go to Effect, Distort and Transform, and Zigzag, and select Preview, and it's going to look really bad. So ignore that. Just make it smaller, 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 looking about 1. And then ridges per segment go up. And the stroke, make it about, oops, make it maybe 0.5. No, 0.5. Okay, and that's pretty good. Click OK, and just give your button, because it's drafted after the button, it puts it on the front. So what you want to do is get your button, give it a white fill, and then right click, arrange, and send to front. Okay, and now your button is covering, or it's going through the buttonhole. Okay, so that takes care of part 1 of front details. In the next part we'll do pockets and fly and other details.